So today we're going to read Worm Loves Worm by J.J. Austrian and illustrated by Mike Corrado. All right. Worm loves worm. Let's be married, says worm to worm. Yes, answers worm, let's be married. Wait, says cricket, you'll need someone to marry you. That's how it's always been done. I'll marry you. So what is marriage? What does it mean to be married, do you think? Are your mom and dads married, or someone you know that's married? What does it mean? Now can we be married? Asks worm. Wait, says beetle, you've got to have a best beetle. Naturally, that would be me. I wonder what a best beetle is. Now can we be married? Asks worm. Wait, say the bees. You need bridesmaids. Can we be the bridesmaids? Please. Yes, says worm. Now can we be married? Bridesmaids. Well, I think when two people get married, they have one best friend that they pick on each side, and they could be a bridesmaid or a groomsman. You'll need to get rings to wear on your fingers, says cricket. That's how it's always been done. But we don't have fingers, says worm. We can wear them like belts, says worm. Wonderful, says worm. Now we can be married. Oops. There we go. Just make sure to have a band so we can dance, says beetle. But we don't have feet to dance, says worm. We can just wiggle around, says worm, like this. Fun, says worm. Now we can be married. See, they have they're wearing their rings and they're wiggling around. But you still need a white dress, a tuxedo, a top hat, lots and lots of flowers, and a cake with frosting, says the bees. But we don't have heads for hats, says worm, or hands to hold flowers, and we only eat dirt, says worm. Wait, says spider, I can attach the hat and flowers to you with my sticky web. Thank you, say worm and worm. But who will eat the cake? Ask the bees. I can eat the cake along with cricket and beetle, says spider. What did you say? Asked cricket and beetle. Nothing, says spider with a smile. Now we can be married, says worm. Wow, they really want to get married, but what's happening? Why aren't they married yet? All of their friends are asking for all of these things, like a cake and a dress and hats and all of these things. Do you think that's what the worms want? What do you think the worms want? What do they keep saying? I think they just want to be married. I don't think they care about anything else. These pages. But which one of you is the bride? Asked the bees. How can we be bridesmaids if we don't know who the bride is? I can be the bride, says worm. I can too, says worm. So they're both going to be the bride. That's pretty cool. I like that. But one of you has to be the groom, or how can I be the best beetle? Asked beetle. I can be the groom, says worm. I can too, says the worm. We can be both. Amazing, says spider. Really? Asked beetle and the bees. Wait, says Cricket. That isn't how it's always been done. Then we'll just change how it's done, says Worm. Yes, says Worm. And so they were married because Worm loves Worm. Oh, look how happy they are. They finally are married. So what do you think being married is? I think being married, what it means to be married is when you really, really love somebody. People that really love each other get married. And some people have cakes and dresses and top hats and stuff like that, and some people don't. Some people just have one person marry them and then they're married. So everybody that gets married, they have different wants and different likes. But yeah, being married is when you love somebody very, very much and you want to spend every day with them. And just like the worms, when you get married, that is the goal. That is the whole point of getting married, is to show that person that you really love them. The worms didn't really care about a cake or anything like that. So that was a really cool book. And thank you for reading it with me. I don't know if you remember certain things about the book, but like for the cake, when the bees asked, what about the dress and the cake? The worm said, we don't eat cake, we eat dirt, right? And we've learned that worms eat dirt and rocks and dead plants and all of that from our other books, right? Or when the grasshopper said that, or the cricket said that they needed rings. Do you remember what the worm said? They said, well, we don't have fingers. Worms don't have fingers. They don't have arms. They don't have legs, right? Do you remember how they move? They have all of these tiny little hairs all over their body, right? And one end, let's say my arm is the worm. So this is the tail and this is the head. So there's all these little hairs on them, and how they move is these hairs back here stick to the dirt or wherever they are, and this part, the head, scoots forward. So this stays laying down and this scoots forward, and then this slides up, and then it keeps going like that. So the head pulls, it stretches, and then when the head of the worm stops, that's when the worm's bottom or behind scoots forward with it. And that's how they move. And all the muscles inside of the worm help them move as well. Do you remember anything else about worms that they talked about in the book? I think I remember one more thing. Can you? It has something to do with the dancing. Remember, the beetle says, as long as you have a band so we can dance, right? And the worms say, well, we don't have, what do you need to have to dance? You need to have feet, right? Legs and feet. And the worms say, well, we don't have feet to dance with. Worms don't have feet. So, yeah. Those are some cool things that were talked about in the book, just like we talked about in the other books. There are some similar things. Well, that was our book for today, and I hope you have a good rest of your day, and I will see you on Friday for our circle time.